Welcome to YouTube Pedia. Discover the greatest stories from history, science, and beyond. If you're curious about the world, subscribe now and join our journey through knowledge. Let's get started. Che Guevara, the mysterious life of a revolutionary icon. Ernesto Che Guevara is more than just a name in history. He is an enigma, a symbol of defiance, revolution, and mystique. His life, marked by audacity and contradictions, is both legendary and controversial, with whispers of hidden truths and untold stories that continue to captivate the world. Born on June 14, 1928 in Rosario, Argentina, Guevara's early years were marked by a deep sense of justice and rebellion against the inequalities he saw around him. Diagnosed with asthma at a young age, he was often sick, but this didn't stop him from exploring the world. His travels throughout Latin America in the early 1950s on a motorcycle with his friend Alberto Granado would change the course of his life. What started as a simple road trip transformed into a profound awakening to the harsh realities faced by the poor and the oppressed across the continent. This journey was the spark that ignited his revolutionary zeal. Guevara's exposure to the suffering of indigenous people, the poor, and the working class fueled his desire to bring about change. But what's often overlooked in his story is the internal conflict he faced, the contrast between his gentle, intellectual nature and the brutal revolutionary tactics he would later embrace. Was he a philosopher, a leader, or a warrior? Or was he all of these at once? His path to fame as a revolutionary began when he met Fidel Castro in Mexico in 1955. Guevara's idealism and fervor for social justice resonated with Castro, and the two men soon formed a bond that would forever change Latin American history. Guevara joined the Cuban Revolution, which culminated in the overthrow of the corrupt Batista regime in 1959. He played a crucial role in the revolution, not just as a military leader, but also as a key ideologue, advocating for Marxist ideals and the establishment of a socialist state. It's the legend of the guerrilla warriors. Guevara's role in the Cuban Revolution is legendary, yet the full scope of his involvement remains shrouded in mystery. It is said that he was not just a military tactician, but a spiritual guide for the revolution, someone who inspired fear and admiration in equal measure. His leadership during the Battle of Santa Clara, where his guerrilla tactics led to the decisive defeat of Batista's forces, cemented his place in history. But Guevara's persona was complex. His advocacy for armed struggle was in stark contrast to the gentle image that many have of him today, especially given his legacy as a symbol of peace and resistance. In Cuba, he served in a number of important roles, including Minister of Industries and head of the National Bank, but his ambitions went beyond Cuba. Guevara believed that the revolution could spread across Latin America, and he sought to make the continent the focal point of global socialism. But his dreams of revolution would soon take him beyond the Caribbean. In the early 1960s, Guevara embarked on a campaign to bring revolutionary change to the Congo, in a mission that would end in failure. The mystery surrounding his time in Africa remains a subject of much debate. Did Guevara truly fail in Africa, or was his mission thwarted by forces much larger than himself? Was there a conspiracy to stop him from spreading his ideals? Many believe that Guevara's trip to the Congo was part of a greater strategy orchestrated by global powers fearful of the spread of Marxism. His failure in Africa did not deter Guevara. In 1966, he left Cuba to begin a new revolution in Bolivia. Here, Guevara's name would become forever linked to the idea of guerrilla warfare, his capture and execution in 1967 making him a martyr for revolutionary movements worldwide. Yet, his death in Bolivia remains as mysterious as his life. Some suggest that Guevara's capture and execution were not only the result of Bolivian forces, but were influenced by CIA operations. The image of Guevara's execution, his face bloodied, his eyes defiant, his spirit unbroken, has become one of the most iconic symbols of the 20th century. His life, though brief, was packed with contradictions and secrets. Was he a tragic hero who failed in his mission, or was he a master manipulator of world events? Guevara's story is a testament to the power of myth-making, the creation of a symbol from a man's life. The man behind the myth. Who was Che Guevara really? As with many figures in history, the truth behind Guevara's legacy remains hidden in the shadows. While the world has embraced Guevara as a symbol of revolution and freedom, his personal life paints a far more nuanced picture. The Che Guevara that many know from posters and t-shirts is a far cry from the man who struggled with his own doubts, fears, and personal demons. Despite his reputation as a fearless revolutionary, Guevara was known for his emotional vulnerability. His relationship with his family, particularly with his parents, was strained. His mother, who had a strong influence on him, was a devout Catholic, while Guevara himself was a Marxist atheist. His personal relationships were fraught with tension, and his romantic life was marked by passion, conflict, and heartbreak. His marriage to Hilda Pedia ended in separation, and his second marriage to Aleida March, a fellow revolutionary, was not without its struggles. Guevara was also a complex figure in his view of violence. While he justified the use of force in the name of revolution, he was also deeply conflicted about the human cost of war. His time in the Cuban Revolutionary courts, where he ordered the execution of prisoners, continues to be a point of controversy. Was Guevara truly the ruthless dictator he is sometimes painted as, or was he a man caught in the struggle for ideological purity? His writings on guerrilla warfare show a deep empathy for the oppressed, yet they also reveal a man willing to sacrifice human lives for the cause. The enigma of Che Guevara lies not only in his actions but also in his ideologies. His writings and speeches were filled with revolutionary rhetoric, yet many of his ideas remained impractical or even dangerously naive in the eyes of critics. Guevara was undoubtedly a visionary, but one must ask, could his vision ever have been fully realized, or was it doomed to failure from the start? Was Guevara simply too idealistic, or did his downfall result from the deep political and military forces arrayed against him? The legacy of Che Guevara, icon or revolutionary failure. Today, Guevara's face adorns posters, t-shirts, and graffiti walls around the world, representing rebellion, resistance, and the never-ending fight for justice. But the man behind the myth remains a figure of controversy. Some hail him as a hero, a man who fought for the oppressed and gave his life for a cause greater than himself. Others see him as a misguided ideologue whose tactics led to the suffering of countless people. In truth, Guevara's legacy is likely to remain as complex and mysterious as the man himself. He is both an icon and a failure, a symbol of defiance and a cautionary tale. His story is one of ambition, revolution, and tragedy, filled with secrets and untold stories that continue to captivate the world. The questions surrounding his life and death will likely never be answered fully, leaving Guevara as both a hero and a villain in the eyes of history.